Sir, when we are briefing a senior, what pointers should we keep in mind?
See, when you're briefing a senior, we have to understand what the senior expects from you and what you expect from the senior in the court of law. A complete lawyer is one who understands that as a lawyer, he has to be connected with the society.
I, being a first generation and a very young lawyer, how much it will help me, academics plus law?
It does help you. Teaching is a way of giving back to the society and to the law schools.
For students or for lawyers who do not have the family connection, what is your advice to actually break through and build a solid network from scratch?
First of all, be in touch with your school friends and college friends. That is the first advice which I will give you. Second, be connected to your family members, whichever profession they are in.
If you would have not been a lawyer, then what?
See, my inner desire even now is to become a scriptwriter
Wow.
and to make movies someday.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Vakil Vaani. So today we have a person who has wore many hats, an AoR, a teacher, a theatre artist, and who has been traveling a lot. Aditya Jain sir. So sir has done his graduation from Gujarat National Law University in 2013, and then he has started his practice from Supreme Court. But today we will learn about his journey, that how from Supreme Court he went back to the trial court to learn the basics, and then right now how he is flourishing his practice in the Supreme Court. And not only this, he is not only handling the core litigation area, he has developed his expertise in the healthcare laws, in the bike laws as well, motor vehicle laws as well, and you will be hearing all of this in the conversation. So please don't miss it out. And at the end of the conversation, I am sure you will be learning that how at this moment, that is my favorite line as well, that you should not go for networking. You should go and build your relationship. There is a life beyond law. Start living it. Please do watch the whole episode. Thank you so much. Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Vakil Vaani. So Aditya sir, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Sir, while I was going through your profile, 2014 में आपने JNLU से अपना graduation
जी.
किया, and as soon as that you joined Supreme Court.
जी.
Like, why so sir? Such a big step एकदम.
जी, शुरुआत मैंने सुप्रीम कोर्ट से की. I started in 2013. I graduated from Gujarat National Law University, and from 2013 till 2015 2 साल मैंने सुप्रीम कोर्ट में वकालत की आंध्र प्रदेश के स्टैंडिंग काउंसिल के साथ. 2 साल मैंने काफ़ी सरकार की जो काम होता है सुप्रीम कोर्ट में उससे मैं रूबरू हुआ. मुझे आई गॉट टू नो द बेसिक्स ऑफ हाउ द गवर्नमेंट्स फंक्शन, हाउ व्हाट काइंड ऑफ मैटर्स डज अ गवर्नमेंट डू, and we briefed a lot of senior counsels then, the Attorney General, the Solicitor General, the Additional Solicitor Generals, on behalf of the state. So that was a good experience. वो अच्छा अनुभव था. हालांकि मुझे रियलाइज़ हुआ कि मुझे ट्रायल कोर्ट में अपने फंडामेंटल्स को बिल्ड करना चाहिए. और मैंने अपना सबसे पहला ट्रायल, इनफैक्ट द फर्स्ट ट्रायल विच आई डिड वाज इन दिल्ली ओनली, इनफैक्ट, एंड दैट आई डिड almost 1 year in practice, and we got an acquittal in that matter.
Oh, that's amazing.
So,
But sir, like in the initial years, while you were briefing the senior advocates and all, like you were a fresher at that time.
जी.
What were the challenges? मतलब, how was the experience?
Challenges were many. See, once you started practicing in Supreme Court, you don't understand really how the matters begin. So, I am from Jaipur, so the files were all in Telugu. So,
Acha, while
it
you're-
was
हाँ.
difficult to understand the local language. But in English, the translated version I could understand. So luckily my senior gave me a lot of drafting work in the first 2 years of practice, and he taught me. He was very kind. He taught me the fundamentals of drafting. He allowed me to draft matters. He used to take his entire team to brief senior lawyers, so we used to observe him. Then we used to assist him in the courts. I was the junior most, but we all used to assist him in the court, Supreme Court, and that's how we learned the ropes of advocacy, I feel.
Sir, when we are briefing a senior, what pointers should we keep in mind?
See, when you're briefing a senior, we have to understand what the senior expects from you and what you expect from the senior in the court of law. Why do you engage a senior? The first question is that you engage a senior so that he can convey the case to the bench in a clear and in an unambiguous way.
Correct.
For him to do that, you need to be super clear.
Hmm.
So you need to get the facts correct. You need to first identify and determine where it all began from. कहाँ से कहानी शुरू हुई. आपको उसकी तह तक जाना जरूरी है. अगर आप स्टार्टिंग से लेकर उस पॉइंट तक सीनियर को पूरी कहानी क्लियर तरीके से समझा देते हैं, फिर आप लॉ क्या है उस पॉइंट पे या लॉ नहीं है वो सीनियर को ऑलरेडी पता है. सीनियर case laws are on the fingertips. You can still apprise
for a
him.
reason they are a senior after all.
You can apprise him that these are cases on this point of law, but he's not expecting that from you. He's expecting you to tell him how it all began and now where you are. So that thread, that story, you have to convey it to him, and then also anticipate the questions that the senior might ask from you. Now, briefing a senior is like arguing before the court of law. So you anticipate what the bench might ask you. Same way, prepare for a briefing in that way. Anticipate in advance what the senior might ask you. To again understand what the senior will ask you, you have to know this facts very right. So focus on the facts.
That means we have to have the command over the facts.
Master the facts. Rest everything will follow, be it law, be it section. And read the section first, word by word, and then the law. Not the other way around.
Nowadays, because of live law, bar and bench, it's a practice ki we have already got, this is the law, and then we do not read the bare acts.
Yes. Understand the first principles. Section क्या बोलता है? Section जो बोलता है उसके बाद फिर judgment पे जाना जरूरी.
So, sir, after practicing in the Supreme Court, then you went a bit reverse wala ki High Court and then trial court. Sir, why that decision?
So, I understood very early after 2 years of practice that I want to be a complete lawyer. And I want to be an arguing counsel. As a young lawyer and even as a middle-aged lawyer, you don't get that many opportunities to argue in the Supreme Court.
Correct.
Because most of the matters, 70% of the matters get dismissed on the first hearing. And you just argue for 30 seconds or 1 minute. So, for me, it's not about the court. It's about the art of arguing. I got into litigation because I wanted to argue. And for me to become a better lawyer, a better counsel, I have to master the trial court first. So I understood that. I discussed this with my friends, my family. And then I decided that I should go to the lower court, work there for a few years and the high court, and then slowly come to the Supreme Court again, or keep on working in the Supreme Court but focus more on the trial court and the high court.
So, sir, was there a challenge? Because Supreme Court is very organized. Like each and everything, you have to maintain the files and everything. We all know. It's very organized temple. But whereas the district courts are not, are almost the opposite. So what are the challenges you faced in the initial years of your trial court practice?
Many challenges. So I was doing 2-3 trials in Delhi. Then I did extensive trial court work in my hometown, which is Jaipur. So the entire pleadings are in Hindi. And everything is in Hindi. So it's not that I don't understand Hindi, but coming from national law schools, coming from an English medium schooling and everything, you're not that used to drafting in Hindi, probably. So, first of all, I mastered the art of drafting in Hindi. Now, probably I love talking in Hindi. I like drafting in Hindi because ultimately it's a language, and you can't, as a lawyer, you can't make an excuse that you don't know Hindi. It's a language, and you should understand it. And so I worked on that. The administrative hassles were there. The trial courts are faced with shortage of manpower, shortage of infrastructure. So all those issues were there. But at the same time, I think the judges in the trial court are more open to listening to juniors. So you get a lot of opportunities to argue in the trial court, and you can argue at length for an hour, for 2 hours, for half an hour. So You get all those opportunities. So I think that really opened me up or built me as a lawyer. And I'm very indebted to trial court for that. And I just love trial advocacy even now.
Same here, sir. So, sir, if a young lawyer is entering after his final year, what is your advice that where should he start from? Because you have seen the reverse part as well.
Yeah.
Some school of lawyers suggest that go from the beneath, that is the trial, to Supreme Court. What is your suggestion?
If you want to be a complete lawyer, you should always spend at least a couple of years in the trial court. Even if you want to be a constitutional lawyer at a stage in your life, 2 years, at least 2 years of trial court experience always helps you in doing that, because you understand the basic criminal and the civil law. And once your fundamentals are strong, your first principles are strong, then you're able to, deal with different kind of laws, be it commercial laws or regulatory laws or constitutional laws or other laws. So 2 years at least, I feel you should work in the trial court, spend some time in the high court, do some original side work, do some appellate work, do some writ work. High court has a large jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And then I think is the right time to come to the Supreme Court. Or if you just want to focus on Supreme Court, that's also a good option. But then you have to mostly focus on constitutional law, I feel.
Correct. Because after all, in Supreme Court, the question of law will only come.
Yes.
The facts are rarely
Yes.
discussed or argued upon.
Yes.
Correct.
I feel if you follow that ladder, trial court, high court and Supreme Court, you're more likely to be more satisfied, more complete and more holistic in your understanding.
Sir, again and again you're using a word, a complete lawyer. Like, what defines a complete lawyer?
So law is a challenging profession.
Correct.
So you have to write well, you have to speak well, you have to be presentable, you have to, you have to meet people, you have to be in social life, you have to be in cultural life, you have to be in, every sphere. So I think a complete lawyer is one who understands that as a lawyer, he has to be connected with the society. So earlier, lawyers used to go and talk at webinars, seminars, social events, cultural events. Now, even now, lawyers do that, but not to that extent. So I think lawyers should spend time with every member of the society. My personal opinion is that not just lawyers. He should spend more and more time with varied individuals. And that is what makes him a complete lawyer. So when he understands their problem, at the first instance, it allows him to become a better problem solver. Ultimately, we are problem solvers.
Problem solver, correct.
Yes.
So, sir, I was also reading about you as a complete lawyer and connected to society. You have worked very closely as a theatre artist.
Yes.
How that has helped in your litigation?
So I always loved, my fascination towards theatre was always there. I was doing theatre in school, doing street theatre for the Legal Services Committee in my college. So I think my reason for joining litigation was also because it has that artistic element in it. You get to argue, you get to convince, you get to have a conversation. So I was always been fond of conversations. So I think theatre, for me, has allowed me to become a better lawyer, because theatre is very collaborative. It's, you work with different individuals and all of you work together to create something which is very unique and which conveys something to the audience. So it builds teamwork. It builds it builds humility. It allows you to be more collaborative. It teaches you a lot of life skills.
Correct.
So I think theatre helped me to become a better lawyer, and also being in law also allowed me to probably write plays which have a social context to them.
Nice.
So I think they're both complementary.
So does theatre wala role comes in the while arguing as well? कि हाँ आज मुझे थोड़ा सा strict lawyer बनना है ऐसा कुछ?
I think you should ask this question to the opponent or the judge because they are the observers. But I think, of course, that happens because as a theatre artist, you are you want to explain through your expressions, through your voice, through your modulation, everything. So you use that even in the court of law when you're talking to a judge. But I think we can't make it too theatrical. We have our limitations as a lawyer.
Correct.
Otherwise,
It's
it
easy
becomes
to get the contempt than to get a favorable
yes,
order.
yes. It's funny for the people who are sitting there, or for the other lawyers, but ultimately, in law, we have to get relief for the client. We are representing the case, so we can't go beyond the facts. But yes, I think that theatrical element does come in.
Right. Sir, you were also doing in academia.
Yes.
You were teaching at various institutes, SLS Pune, Jindal, ILI,
Yes.
everywhere. So right now also there are lawyers who try to do that. How much it helps? Like I being a first generation and a very young lawyer, how much it will help me? Academics plus law.
It does help you. So I started teaching, I think, after I completed 4 or 5 years in practice. And since then, I've been teaching regularly at various universities and colleges and online portals. And it is very satisfying because, when you teach, you have to read everything in depth. And then you have to explain that to a lot of people. And then any question can come from the students. So, it really prepares you well over that subject. It gives you that command. And also, teaching is a way of giving back to the society and to the law schools, because your practical experience as a lawyer in the courts, and as a lawyer more so, it allows you to get that to teaching, which sometimes the professors lack because of lack of practical experience.
Correct.
So it's a way to make those students also more industry ready, I feel. Because a lot of students come and they ask me questions about how to build a practice and how to start, and then you can share your stories and motivate them, especially first generation lawyers. So that litigation is not that difficult. You have to just be consistent and motivated.
So, sir, now after almost 10 years of your graduation, you have seen a big shift in the change in the style of teaching, with now the AI also coming.
Yes.
Are students actually eager to learn, or the pressure of teacher has become even more, because nowadays student can just check whether the teacher is saying correct or not? Earlier so while you were there, we did not have anything of that sort. It was difficult for us to verify.
Yes.
Okay, we will go home and check the books.
Yes.
But still, right now, the students have that opportunity. So, does it make teaching even more difficult as of now?
It does. Because even now, when I teach at ILI or Symbiosis or my own college, Gujarat National University, so I think sometimes students ask questions after checking on their phone, and some students are regularly doing that. So you can't get offended by that. You have to be ready.
Correct.
As a teacher. So you have to have in-depth knowledge. So you have to prepare better. So you have to be prepared better. You have to convey better. I think the good part about teaching is, and which AI won't be able to replace, where humans, is the fact that connect is there when you teach. And you have to then make teaching more interactive. You can't just go on and on and on and then not give any time for the students to ask the questions. You have to be open to answering questions. You have to entertain questions. So a good teacher would be one who's very interactive in the class, and who delves into those deep corners of law, or answers those interesting questions, and who makes the atmosphere very interactive, I would say, very communicative.
I understand, because now it is more important. A teacher should also upgrade their style of teaching.
Yes. It's not about what you teach, it's how you teach. Then what you teach.
Correct. Because what you teach is almost the same.
Yes.
But how you are delivering it, that is where...
How can you simplify those complex concepts and narrate it in a very simple manner, like a story? How you can weave a plot. So I think students want that from teachers, and we have to have a good connection with those students. We can't just sit on a pedestal and say, give a lecture and go. I think that is changing.
Sir, any teacher or any mentor who helped you this much in your initial years?
So in college, we had a very wonderful professor, Mr. Girish. Rajappan, who used to teach us constitutional law.
I hope, sir, if you are listening this, your student is doing amazing.
So Mr. Girish Rajappan, he taught us constitution,
Hmm.
and I still remember in class he taught us the entire Keshwanandi Nanda Bharati case in 2 slides by simplifying it so much. So it was amazing, and his passion for teaching constitution law was amazing. The dedication with which he used to teach, with which he used to deliver lectures, was so good. And there were other teachers, a sociology teacher, a political science teacher. So I also enjoyed learning the art subjects along with
Correct,
law.
because you are into that
Yes.
field after
So
all.
humanities is something which I think go very closely with law. So sociology, political science, international relations, economics. So we had wonderful professors who taught us those subjects in the classroom, and I found constitutional law and criminal law very interesting always. So along with that, the art subject. So I think teachers have helped me a lot.
Correct.
Also, public international law. I think wonderful teacher we had in college.
Sir, after that you became an AOR as well, and currently for us who are very young in the practice, it is a goal. It is almost everyone's goal that we want to become an AOR. But as an AOR, you yourself, what extra responsibility or opportunity comes in your way?
Okay. So I think first is responsibility, and then there is opportunity. So as an AOR, first you have to be very clear and adept at the Supreme Court procedure, I would say. So an AOR should know the Supreme Court rules very clearly and understand it very, very properly. Second, as an AOR, you are responsible for every brief that you sign. So make sure you read every pleading, go through everything before, even if you're a signing AOR. I'm not a signing AOR, but those of some people sign petitions.
They only sign.
Yes. So make sure that you go through every pleading, every argument, everything in detail before signing a petition, because ultimately, if anything wrong happens, you'll be summoned by the court, as we see in cases every
nowadays,
day.
though, yeah.
Yes, and AOR is an officer of the Supreme Court, which is the highest court. So AOR has a further responsibility to be very, very fair to the court, because Supreme Court, as an AOR, the parameters of being transparent are very, very high. So you have to be, conduct yourself in that way, wherever you go, wherever you, whichever social gathering you attend, whether you're in the court or outside the court, you have to conduct yourself like an officer of the Supreme Court. I think then if you do that, then you, after some time, you can start enjoying the fruits of being an AOR as well.
So that's where the opportunity,
Yes.
the growth opportunity comes in.
Yes, because see, there are so many AORs now in the Supreme Court, right? And
It's almost every year 400,
Yes.
500 AORs are.
now there are 4,000 plus AORs.
My God.
When I became, there were 2,900, 3,000 AORs. Now they're around 3,800 or 4,000 AORs. So, the number is increasing. But ultimately, whoever is efficient, consistent, and conducts himself like an AOR would be successful. And you are first a lawyer, then an AOR. Never forget that.
Right. Sir, I understood about the AOR practice that that we actually need to put an effort, that responsibility need to be identified. Then only, because what I am reading and seeing nowadays, what has happened, that the signing advocates have started reducing their prices just because there are a lot of AOR in the market.
You're right.
But then, since they are not reading the files, it gets very difficult as well.
Of course.
Sir, I'll share one experience of
Please.
mine without taking any names.
Please.
So there was this criminal appeal of my friend from Odisha. She filed it in the Supreme Court through one of the AOR. And I was the arguing counsel because she could not travel from Odisha. So I was like, okay. Now, since the AOR was only the he signed it and they filed the appeal. Drafting also, she only did it.
Yes.
Now it gets very difficult to coordinate. The trial court record has come. It goes to the AOR. The counter affidavit which have been filed goes to the AOR.
Yes.
For appearance, earlier it used to be that you can write and give. But
Yes.
nowadays, the AOR only has to send a mail, or
Yes,
that
yes.
kind of thing is there.
Yes.
It gets difficult.
Yes.
And that AOR for each and everything is like, okay, ask her to put in more fees and all.
Yes.
So I think that should not be there
Yes.
as a responsibility. Like, if you're
Yes.
taking
Yes.
up, what are your views? Like, have you faced such experience in your initial year before you became an AOR?
So luckily, I had my seniors
Hmm.
who were AORs. So they were very fine people,
Hmm.
and they were very efficient. And morely, we were friends, so
Uh-huh.
they didn't bother me with everything. But they were very clear upfront as to what would be their fees as an AOR,
Hmm.
and I honored that fees. And then they managed everything
Uh,
efficiently. And I never asked them about anything because ultimately they are officers of the court. You can't treat them as filing people.
Correct. I agree.
So it's also how you treat.
Hmm.
So I think you have to get through the correct AOR. That's very important. Uh, an AOR who does his work efficiently, who understands, firstly, who understands the Supreme Court procedure and rules. Mind you, not every AOR understands. I mean, a
And
lot of
also,
them.
not every AOR actually practices
Yes, yes.
before the Supreme Court.
Yes.
That is where also that lag happens.
I understand.
Hmm.
A lot of AORs I know are sitting in trial courts and high courts,
Hmm.
and they've become AORs, and they have just very, very few filings in a year,
Hmm.
which I don't have anything against them.
Huh.
But once you become an AOR, I think you should be adept at the procedure,
Hmm.
so that you are able to do justice. You're able to deal with those briefs efficiently, and get them properly
Hmm.
to the bench. So I think that's the responsibility for an AOR,
Hmm.
and that which an AOR should do. And first, an AOR should never forget that he's a lawyer first and then an AOR.
Then
So he
that's
should
what
always be good at drafting and arguing. That's very, very important.
Correct.
He should not just limit himself to signing briefs.
That is very
That is a
important.
very lazy way to earn money.
Correct. That is not even the right or wrong is their own
Yes, yes.
thing, but very lazy way. Correct.
Yes.
I remember, sir. I don't know if you remember, during the COVID time, we collaborated in one of the webinar as well.
Yes,
Me
I do.
along with my friends,
I do.
we collaborated with you. Sir, at that time, you started a firm.
Yes.
I remember it was quite early. I think in December 2019 only you started the
Yes.
firm, and then the COVID hit.
Yes.
What were the challenges, sir? How were you able to float it ahead?
So, I with my colleague Neha, we started a firm in October 2019, and then COVID hit us in March 2020. So, for at least an year, it was very difficult. First phase, second phase, it was very difficult, and everything went virtual. So it became very difficult. But luckily, our practice was very diversified. So we never kept ourselves limited to one court. We were doing Supreme Court, High Court, trial courts, tribunals. We were also doing advisory work, due diligence work, advisory work, healthcare related compliance work, contractual work. So ultimately, we are lawyers. So I don't think we should limit ourselves to, one kind of work. And especially in the initial years of practice, initial 10, 15 years of practice, you should experience as much as you can. Even if an opportunity comes where you have to do a job somewhere, or an interesting opportunity with the government department comes, or an educational institute comes, you should do it. I think it's about the experience, and all that experience you realize ultimately adds up and makes you a better lawyer.
Correct.
So I think we make ourselves very restricted
That is
very
wrong.
early.
I agree.
In the first year, second year of practice, or within 5 years of practice, we just start focusing on one area of law, and we just don't go out. Especially I feel in some law firms, you are just restricted to that cabin and you're not moving out. How will you grow as a lawyer? You have to be a complete lawyer. So you have
That's
to.
what we discuss. A
Yes.
complete lawyer who is connected to society.
Yes.
You should be more of an all-rounder.
Yes.
And you have to be. This is not it's very wrong for me, but this is not the right age for me to get specialized in some
Yes.
line. I think it's a time that I should explore, understand,
Yes.
and have that complete lawyer, as you said, sir.
Yes.
So, sir, if as of now, if I am planning to start my own firm, what are 2 to 3 unsaid realities that will hit me in the beginning?
So first would be to have sufficient number of matters. So the question which always arises with a person who's starting his own office or own firm is, when he should go independent.
Hmm.
10 briefs, 20 briefs, 50 briefs, 100 briefs. I think it's not about the number, it's about the confidence that you have. So I started when I had, I think, probably 10 or 15 matters. And we grew substantially after that. It's about the confidence that you have in your abilities to get work. I mean, if you have that confidence that you have some kind of credibility in the market, or and amongst people and your clients, and you're ready to give that, uh, go through the grind, uh, I think that is the time when you should go independent. And as an independent lawyer, you can't be an introvert. You have to be an extrovert, and you have to also have to be an introvert. You have to be an ambivert, basically. So I think starting your own office, going independent, teaches you a lot. Even if you fail, even if your practice doesn't pick up, there'll be some learning. But I'm not saying that just jump into it. Make a plan for it. Go by that plan. And when you have that confidence calling from within, that this is the time I should go independent, you go independent. For some it's 2 years, for some it's 10 years, for some it's 15 years. But I don't judge anyone by the number of years. I think it's everyone has their own journey. So I think it's about when you have that confidence, and it's about circumstances also. Many of people are first generation lawyers who come to Delhi from different states, small towns, to practice there. And it's not easy. They have to afford a house, afford a office, everything. So you have to really, get everything basics in order first, your basic life in order, and then probably decide to go independent.
Correct. Sir, like as you went independent, there was one niche law which you covered, the healthcare law.
Yes.
And you work extensively in it.
Yes.
What exactly it is, how we can enter into that area?
So healthcare law is an interesting area of law. I have worked in it for the last 4 years primarily. We have done compliances for some startups who are working in the healthcare space. We've drafted contracts for them. We've done their litigations under the Drugs and the Cosmetics Act. So we've done a substantial amount of work. So that's one area of practice which I do as a lawyer. So I think healthcare law, you'll be able to understand better if you understand how the healthcare policy in India has evolved. So there, one is with regard to drugs and cosmetics, drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, and second is medical devices. If you understand these two aspects on how the policy in these two sectors has evolved from 1950 till now, in the last 75 years, I think you can do well. You can understand the rigors of the healthcare law better. Don't be afraid on delving into a niche area, and don't think that will just be limited to a law firm. Even if you're an independent lawyer, you're able to understand the entire gamut, the policy behind that law, and you're able to write articles, speak. Slowly, you will realize that you can build your practice around it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So right now the two terms which are a lot of getting the credited is that telemedicine and the digital health platform. Like you can get the medicines. Like what are the legal challenges these startups usually face?
Very good question. So I did a webinar in 2020 on the telemedicine policy and the health data management policy which the government had come out with then. The major issue with regard to telemedicine is teleconsultation, and the issue of consent is something which is primary. So telemedicine is something which is a budding concept in India, but from the patient's perspective, and even from the service provider's perspective or doctor's perspective, they should understand the consent mechanism behind it, and also the prerequisites that they have to comply with before conducting a telemedicine session, a teleconsultation with regard to telemedicine or other aspects. So I think that they have to understand very well. And even there are some gray areas in law which probably the government will soon come up with a proper act. So now there's a policy, rules. They're yet to come up with a proper act with regard to telemedicine, I feel.
Understood. Sir, even that, and I was going through your LinkedIn along with this telemedicine and the healthcare. You have worked very closely with one of the German firms to set up
Yeah.
the bike league in India.
Yeah.
What was that experience? And it must have been very exciting.
Yes, it was indeed very exciting. So I was working for almost a year with a German consulting firm in Pune, and I was doing a bit of M&A work. I mean, that was my first foray into M&A. And I realized being a litigation lawyer gives you that insight, gives you that edge, even doing transactions. So a client had approached us, two clients had approached us in Pune who were into sports consulting and management, and they wanted to set up a bike racing league, a first motorbike league in India. So they had some concerns about the documentation, about the IP, intellectual property, and also the investment that they were likely to receive from a venture capitalist. So we advised them with regard to those documents, that IP, and also the compliances which they'll be required to obtain from the respective departments. That was a very interesting experience because that team not just had lawyers, it also had chartered accountants, it also has company secretaries, and it also had some management consultants. So all of us together advised that client. So I got to learn a lot about other aspects beyond law. So it was a very interesting experience for me, very rich, very collaborative environment. Especially, I think Germans have a different way of working. So very collaborative environment, very interestingly they work. So it was a very good experience. I truly treasure it, and I'm very grateful that I got that chance.
That's amazing, sir.
Yeah.
So you come from the family of lawyers, like
Yes.
I think your father and your grandfather were part of this legal fraternity. So do you think, sir, that because of that perspective, you did not face a lot of challenges or more challenges also? Because there is always two perspective.
Yes.
Me coming as a first generation, I will always see that okay, he is a third generation lawyer. He must have not faced the challenges. But I want to understand it from you. What are the challenges you actually face as being a third or fourth generation lawyer?
Yes. So, yes, my grandfather was a lawyer. He passed away. My father was not practicing, he was in judicial services, but then he started practicing late, I think 20 years prior. But then I started from Delhi, and I always wanted to do things differently. And my father's idea was also that he's more into traditional litigation. So I was more interested in the other commercial litigation more, or constitutional work more. So I got guidance, of course, but cases and books and everything, I've majorly tried to do it on my own. He's helped me sometimes, but he always, I think, wanted me to work hard, at least to establish my own office and own firm. And I'm doing that now, and to some extent I've done it. So yes, it has its challenges, it has its positives, of course. You get the guidance, you get some clients initially, and so if you're inheriting a practice, it becomes easier. I didn't inherit a practice.
Correct.
But I think the guidance which my father gave me was invaluable. And the best thing is that he allowed me to argue matters, which I'm grateful to him for, because that really gave me the exposure to face the court on every single day. He was just like that father used to throw me into the sea, and then you learn to swim on your own. So I think I kind of developed my strength through that. So I think for first generation lawyers, I think they should not be shy. They should be out. They should go explore. They should not even doubt themselves for even a second, because the entire world is out there. If you can go meet people, socialize, network, and at the same time work hard, work very hard, read, research, and if you can talk, write well, I think we have so many examples of first generation lawyers doing so well, and in most cases even better than second or third generation lawyers. So I think with technology we have a very level playing field. And first generation lawyers, I think, should use technology as much as they can.
I understand, sir. Sir, like a question which I think all of our audience wants to hear and understand from your perspective, that for students or for lawyers who do not have the family connections, what is your advice to actually break through and build a solid network from scratch?
First of all, be in touch with your school friends and college friends. That is the first advice which I will give you. Second, be connected to your family members, whichever profession they are in. Don't just be connected to lawyers, be connected to every person, because every person someday will have a matter, with a legal case, will require a legal advice. Initially, relatives, you might have to advise them for free. And relatives, even now, my friends and relatives call me at night and ask for a free advice, and I have to get a contract for free. But I find it difficult, but I still do that because, the trust is important. Once they trust me that I've given them the right advice, they'll refer 10 clients, 5 clients. So this profession is all about trust, is all about goodwill. It's always been about that. So it's not a business, it's a profession for a reason, because it's about trust and goodwill. So build that. Be humble, be a learner, be a student of law. Always be a learner. Always question yourself also. If you read something, research more. Have an investigative mind. Have a very curious mind. If you have that, no one can stop you from succeeding in this profession. This profession gives you everything. It gives you money, it gives you fame, it gives you, most importantly, satisfaction. It gives you that intellect. In which other profession you see a client with folded hands coming in front of you and giving his fees and asking to save his son, daughter, or save his property? In which other profession do we have that? Just in medicine and law. So this profession is a very great profession. It's a very good profession. Just because some kind of cahoots are there, don't get disheartened. It has a lot to offer, and it has a lot to offer more for people who work efficiently, honestly, and who have principles.
I understand. Like, it's very noteworthy thing,
Yes.
and I really hope the audience also take note of these things, because it's actually, sir, that trust building, having your network, you should actually put in extra effort to get in there. Until and unless it gets, I said, what I do, I'll be very honest with you, I try to attend all the book events,
Very good.
because there the lawyers are there, and I try to go and talk to them.
Yes.
And then I always try that there are conferences, different conferences. So right now, sir, my interest is in blockchain, Web3. I am deep interest into it. Sir, I did a course from IIT Delhi.
Wow.
Just for that. And sir, in that 90 students batch, I was the only lawyer. And I took it as more of an investment, that 89 persons who were there, they might be my potential clients later on.
Exactly.
Because they know that this person knows this blockchain as well as law.
Yes.
So it is more, I take it like that.
Yes.
My friends say that why you are doing a lot of things. And I say, it's not for now.
Yes.
It will be giving me my fruits later on.
And that is the good part. See, I've built clients during my train and flight journeys.
Same, yeah.
I mean, I read books whenever I'm traveling, or I write. I am very fond of writing. So, when you read or you're writing, some interesting person will come to you and ask what you're reading.
Correct.
And then you start a conversation. And then they know that you're a lawyer. And then because they've seen, they've talked to you, they start trusting you, you build a network. So I've converted clients like that. So it's first about building a relationship.
Correct.
People straight away want to build a network. It doesn't happen like that. It's very organic. So you build a relationship with the client.
It is very, one of the senior advocates only, sir, they said in one of the conferences that until and unless you keep the doors open, a client will never walk in.
Yes.
And that is what is the, sir, even in the conversation, if I am there in the flight and if I am not open to the conversation, nobody will even come, okay, what book is this? This is the book. The conversation is over. Now that is my opportunity. If the client has come in the door, now it is my opportunity to talk to him, understand him. Then whether he will become a client or not, that is for a later stage, but at least build the connection.
And be interesting, because if you read, so I try to read everything that I can beyond law. So I read philosophy, history, literature. So once you read, you have a different perspective, and then you can talk to anyone from
Hmm.
different walks of life. Then you can interact. Then you feel more confident to go out in social gatherings. So always read at least for
Hmm.
2-3 hours a day something which is not related to law. That will make you a better lawyer, and you won't even realize that. And you go out to conferences, you go for seminars, you go to colleges, teach. Just go out, explore. A lawyer is like an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
Go out, talk, converse.
Hmm.
I think the world is out there. I think
Correct.
now with technology, everything is so connected.
I agree.
And just share. I think
Hmm.
the more knowledge you share, the better it is.
I completely
Don't
agree.
keep it within. Just try to share your knowledge.
Uh,
Just try to enhance your knowledge. Gets enhanced by sharing.
Correct. I completely. I learn after I am able to convey that what exactly I have
Yes.
learned. I
Yes.
agree to that. So,
Yes.
sir, let's come to the recent topics which are
Yes.
going on in the country, and let's have your legal insights and your generic opinion. What exactly it is. So, sir, today, 12th of August, we are sitting here,
Yeah.
and the recent thing is the order of the Supreme Court about the stray dogs in Delhi.
Yes.
What is your um, opinion upon that?
So the intent of the Supreme Court is right.
Hmm.
That stray dog menace is there. It's killed so many children, so many people. But the order uh, is difficult to implement, I feel. See, Supreme Court is a court, is a court, where you speak through your written word.
Correct. Hmm.
So a judge, while writing an order, should also be mindful about whether the order will get implemented in its entirety or not. So it's a good order, it's a good initiative,
Hmm.
but probably Supreme Court should have come up with a phase-wise plan
Hmm.
and then followed this case up, every 6 months, 3 months, and made sure that every plan is implemented, and should have engaged experts, should have sought public opinion, and then made the process more consultative. I think that would have been the correct course.
Much.
The intent is very good.
Hmm.
The course perhaps could have been a little different.
A little, yeah, because so much outroar. But see, that is, I think, the emotional part, and we genuinely cannot talk about it because there are two sides of the coin,
Yes.
and the other side, that is the emotional side, the dog lovers,
Yes.
are they are also correct, whereas
Yes.
the different side, the mother of those children and the persons who actually do not like the stray dog, they have their own opinions and all. So going ahead, it's nowadays we have seen the legal influencers, they are rising. I want to understand, different from that, how a person, a lawyer, a first generation, a very in the initial year, can actually build his digital credibility.
That's a very good question. I say it's a good question because it's very important. It's very difficult for a young lawyer or a first generation lawyer to get through the big chambers. It was very difficult for me, even being a second generation lawyer, to get through the big chamber. I never worked in a very high profile chamber or a firm. I mean, that's why I built everything through my presence and different modes. But I think that this way is more interesting. The way I think you are working, the way other lawyers are working, by using technology, by building a digital credibility, is a more interesting way to build your practice. Of course, have a senior, but don't be disheartened if you are not able to get through a big chamber. The best way, now coming to your question, the best way to build your digital credibility, the starting point should be to start writing, because that's how your thoughts churn. You give your thoughts away, a method, a way to churn your thoughts. That is writing. Start writing with a pen and a paper. Start writing an article, start writing blogs. Then slowly after you write, start making short videos. Start attending conferences. I remember when I was about to go independent, so I planned one in advance. So I did a conferences. I used to present papers at conferences. I used to judge moot court competitions. So I built some kind of network through that and credibility. So I attended. I still want to do that. Academics has always been my love. So I started attending conferences. I started writing articles. I started doing webinars. I used to go and judge moot courts. I used to do theater. I used
These
to
extra efforts will
yes,
actually
and
help
these
us.
are the efforts. So these are academic and intellectual ways to build your practice. Don't go and distribute your cards. That is not going to help.
That is the overall. So that is not
I've
even.
seen so many lawyers
Uh,
going, which have advised me. Even now, lawyers advise me, seniors, very, very seniors, I won't take their names, to go and distribute my cards in 10 different high courts. I don't understand how does that work. You are a lawyer. You are a civilized, intellectual member, a highly regarded member of the society, of a democratic society. So, how do you start building your connects network? It is through these intellectual forums.
Correct.
Go and teach. Go and present papers at conferences, not just in law colleges. Go to IITs, go to IIMs, go to other universities. Talk about law, talk about policy, do webinars, meet
Correct.
people, travel. I think traveling is very important for a lawyer. Go and
I
travel,
agree.
read books, learn the history. If you're in Delhi, Delhi has such a deep historical background. Go for these history walks, walking tours. I'd still go for those history walking tours. You get to meet so many different people. Wherever knowledge is, go in that direction. My point is that. And share knowledge, get knowledge. That is how you build a strong community. Build a community. Go and join book clubs, book reading clubs. I'm now thinking of joining a book club in Delhi.
That is.
And go, and if you love movies, go and join a movie club. Do everything. Don't just keep yourself limited to law.
Sir, I understood for that digital
Yes.
credibility. I got so many points, and I will be really joining few of the clubs very soon. So, last few very quick questions. If you would have not been a lawyer, then what?
See, my inner desire even now is to become a scriptwriter
Wow.
and to make movies someday. Probably, when I have enough money, or when in few years, 4-5 years, I feel more comfortable. I have fulfilled my responsibilities which I have now. I'll probably go in that direction, and I won't shy away because my first love has always been writing and filmmaking and movies and
I
books.
really hope, sir, that this. Usually, my last question of every podcast is, where do you see yourself in next 5 years? And you already answered that
Yes.
question, and I really hope that we come back to this video and see that okay, Aditya Jain sir is a scriptwriter in one of the
Yes.
plays, movies, and
Yes.
all of that. Sir, if you could recommend 2 to 3 books, not the law books, but other books which can help me in my practice.
I think the first book which I really enjoy reading is Discovery of India by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Fountainhead is one book which I really recommend. Also, I think read fiction. Read fiction. I really like reading murder mysteries by Agatha Christie and James Hadley Chase. The reason why I say this is fiction. People have stopped reading fiction these days, and mostly are towards self-help books. Fiction allows you to develop your imagination. And if you have a fertile imagination, you have more ideas. And if you have more ideas, you will be a better lawyer. Simple as that.
Wow.
So never stop reading fiction. Fiction allows you to go in that world. So I think fiction, I really like Discovery of India, of course, Fountainhead, and then fiction. Be it crime fiction, science fiction, political thrillers. Read these kind of books. These are my favorite books. Also, I really love biographies of different people, not just from India, but across the globe. So I've just finished Nelson Mandela's biography, Hitler's biography, Mein Kampf. So I think a person who reads, for him, the world is unlimited. So do yourself a favor, fix 2-3 hours a day and read and go from one book to the other book. Do yourself that favor.
I will, sir, for sure, sir. I usually do read maybe half an hour while going the metro, but I'll increase that time to
Yes.
at least 1 hour starting and then 2 hours for sure. I will. I promise you that, sir.
Yes.
Sir, one last question. If you can break one legal myth, which usually people have.
Hmm. Legal myth. First of all, are myths even legal? That's but legal myth. I think what the question which you're trying to ask is that about the profession more so, right?
Profession,
Mm.
yes.
First myth which people should break is only people with a background in law can succeed. That's a foregone conclusion now. People from any background can succeed. Uh, Secondly, don't build network. It's the worst thing to do. Build relationships.
Wow. Golden
If you
advice.
go and meet a person with an objective, it is never going to work. It never works that way. I've seen so many people doing that. People rallying around senior counsels or eminent people, and just for the purpose of just passing on these fake smiles and just being around them so that they can get work. That is never going to work. That person will never value you. So create your own value, create yourself, become an asset for an organization, for the fraternity. Work on yourself constantly. Uh, Work out, go for a run, work out in any way you want to. Build your thoughts. विचारों का निर्माण जिसे बोलते हैं वो करना बहुत जरूरी है एक वकील के लिए. इसलिए मैंने बोला फिक्शन पढ़ना चाहिए, फिक्शन देखना भी चाहिए, पढ़ना पहले चाहिए एंड घूमना चाहिए. मुझे दो चीज़ें बहुत पसंद है, टू ट्रैवल एंड टू रीड, because they really enhance your experience of life. They really build you as a person, and they make you very humble. They make you humble as a human being. So I think for lawyers or for anyone in the society, you should read and you should travel. Even if you have 2 दिन का छुट्टी and you have 10,000 rupees in your account, go and travel. What is the point of just sitting and watching OTT? Go and travel, experience things firsthand. Go and watch OTT there, but go to a new place, get new air, and
That's very
travel
interesting.
within the country. India is so diverse. India has so many cultures. It's such a diverse country. I understand the constraint. Financial constraints are there for lawyers. But even if you have less money, you can at least go to a nearby place. But travel and read and go. Always go carry a book. Always carry a book. Always carry your headphones. Listen to good music. Watch theater. Indulge in different things. Don't just keep yourself limited to law. A lot of people told me that you are too, earlier in my practice, and even now people tell me, you are too distracted, you do this, you do that, you're always doing 5 things. So I was like, it's about managing your time.
I agree.
It's all about managing your time. And why should I live only a life as a lawyer? I am just a lawyer for some part of the day. I have a life beyond. I have a personality beyond. I'm an artist also. I write plays. I do theater. I've directed 2 plays. So why not? Early lawyers used to do that. Why have we stopped doing that now? Because the world thinks that. Don't make yourself a product or a commodity which the capitalist world wants you to do. Become an asset, and the world will follow you.
Wow.
So I think these are
very interesting. Like I got so motivated because sir, there are few things which I believe when I sit with my friends. Like almost we are at the end only, and I'll share one experience, sir. They also tell me that why you keep doing this and that. Why don't you join a firm? You can do this. You can do that. They're like, I have just one life. I do not only want to live a life of a lawyer. Exact words, sir, which you said. I keep reiterating that I am a lawyer. I want to teach. I want to interact. I want to organize. I want to do a lot of things. Why should I restrict myself only to be a lawyer just because that is my professional choice to earn money maybe? But there are other ways also. I have to live my life.
Yes.
And there's one reality which we have to realize, that in Delhi, your lifespan has already reduced. That is true, sir.
That is why I tell you should go out on the weekends. Travel. If you're in Delhi, travel more.
Travel more, correct. And go to better places maybe. Thankfully, I am from Agra, so it gets very easy for me to go back home and have a relaxed weekend. But thank you so much, sir. It was genuinely very, more than law insights, I got a very life insights. And I really thankful to you, sir, for giving me time on a weekday. I know it gets very tough, and audience also, I'm sure they would have loved all of the insight. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again.
Thank you. And all the best. You're doing a great job with that
Thank
podcast.
you.
Continue it, and I think you'll come out with flying colors.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed this episode and this conversation with Aditya Jain, sir, because I was sitting not only with a lawyer, but with a teacher, but with a mentor, and a third generational advocate, a person who has made his own pathway, a person who is doing theaters, a person who is reading, writing, traveling, a jack of all trade, and he is surely master of all of them. I really enjoyed this, and in this conversation, you'll be learning that why it is important to have a digital credibility, why it is important to have a relationship with each and everyone you meet, and not just to network. What are the new ways our society and law is growing? So please do watch it till the end. I know you are watching it till the end. So please do leave a like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.